stretch on the way down, squeeze on the way up. Just like that. Now, if you do that properly on any calf variation, you're probably half, if not quarter the weight you've been bouncing around on, even if you've been training calves, and you'll get a lot more out of it. Once again, strength is a skill. It's not about trying to move as much weight, it's about moving an appropriate amount of weight progressively over time so that you can, activate the muscle, progressively overload it, and grow it. That's what you guys are generally here for. Guys, welcome back to another Exercise Explained with your physique coach, Alex Connor, or perhaps your physique coach. Anyway, we're talking about calves today. A lot of people complain, I can't grow my calves. Well, even though genetics has obviously a role to play, if you want to grow a muscle, if you load it, you learn how to train it effectively, and then you progressively continue to do this over time with sufficient rest and food, it will grow. It might not be brilliant, it might not have calves like Ronnie Coleman, but they will grow. And there's a big mistake, there's a few mistakes actually that I see very common with the calf. So I'm going to go over these today. We're going to eradicate them. It's really simple. The calf movement is actually very simple. Once again, people overcomplicate it. So first of all, let's look at the movement of the calf. So when we look at the calf muscles, we've got something called plantar flexion from the ankle and dorsiflexion. And they're really the only two movements we need to worry about. There is more an inversion, exversion, and all of this shite. It's, it's a universal joint, but however, we only need to worry about those two. Now, the biggest mistake I see when this happens is a lot of people are bouncing. Now, we have this beautiful tendon called the Achilles tendon. And that tendon is one of the biggest in the body. It's one of the strongest. If you've ever heard it snap, it's like a gun going off. So the problem is people are bouncing up and down on this thing all day, and you're not really activating the main part of the calf, which is gastrocnemius. Underneath there, we have one called soleus, and then we have tibialis anterior at the front. Now, we're mainly after working gastroc and soleus. So when we train gastroc, we're generally in the standing position, and when we're training soleus, we're in the bent knee or the seated position. Now, again, the same principle applies here. What we want to do is we want to take all of the tension out of the Achilles tendon and make sure gastroc and soleus are doing the majority of the work. So how we're going to do that is we're going to add a bit of a pause. We're going to make sure we take the tension out of the movement so we can contract and load the muscle maximally and effectively. So, first of all, we're going to find ourselves a ledge. If we're doing a standing calf raise, we don't have a specific machine here at Robina. We have a seated variation, and I can makeshift it, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it simple because this is going to apply on any variation of calves. So, we don't need to worry about going wide or close or toe in or toe out. We want to keep the joints stacked. We want to get a majority or a third of the foot, the ball of the foot, again, nice flat shoes on the platform. We want to think about coming down as far as you can, so don't force it, into dorsiflexion, and then we're going to come into plantar flexion. What I want you to think about doing is, as you stretch on the way down, I want you to hold and squeeze, and I want you to hold and squeeze on the way up. I want you to think about pushing through, getting on your tiptoes. You can see the difference. If I just bounce versus all the way down and stretch, Achilles is out. It's still obviously going to work to some degree, but gastroc has got to take over, and squeeze maximally. You can see the calf contraction. So it's stretch on the way down, squeeze on the way up. Stretch on the way down, squeeze on the way up. Just like that. Now, if you do that properly on any calf variation, you're probably half, if not quarter the weight you've been bouncing around on, even if you've been training calves, and you'll get a lot more out of it. Once again, strength is a skill. It's not about trying to move as much weight, it's about moving an appropriate amount of weight progressively over time so that you can, activate the muscle, progressively overload it, and grow it. That's what you guys are generally here for. So make sure you stop bouncing on the calves and make sure you do them properly, just like anything. Like I said, there's no need to really add in any other variations in terms of toe in and toe out. The variations you want to add in, like I said, is anything from where like a double leg, standing, you can do a seated single leg, you can do them on different machines. So for example, I could do that on a ledge there. I could do it, we've got like an inverted machine where you sit and stand in it. It's a bit of a hybrid. You do it on a Smith machine. Ultimately, train them more frequently if you are not training them already. So for example, if they don't grow from once a week, train them twice a week and then add in 3 times a week and train them close to failure. They're a small muscle group, they recover fast, and they can take a lot of work. Start with something moderate and build it up over time. All right, if you like the video, guys, make sure to like it, share it. If you've got any questions, of course, make sure you message me. And if you want more information on coaching, then swipe up now. And for more videos, as ever, check out the highlight reel. Guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.